this gonna be my plan. So I'm gonna pull these beans. I'm just gonna keep my eye on that one over there. It is, who else was watching that and saying, you didn't put your gray pieces in? Good morning, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. And I'm just taking out those roots at this point because, well, the whole big piece, because they, at this point, I've already pulled it out the soil. There's still some roots in there, which I'm throwing back in here because it'll be good nutrition for the soil. Organic matter, in my opinion. So yeah, we definitely trying potatoes again, y'all. Shoot, I want to do a whole Greenstalk of them. But I'm gonna keep playing around with one level to see how my best way of doing this. Thank goodness the shade is here. Can get a little bit of work done today. I probably won't be out here much longer, but for right now, I'll come back out later on tonight. I gotta get my herb seeds started, y'all. Probably do that sometime this week too. I'm just gonna fill it here for now because I'm gonna fertilize it, put some granulated fertilizer in here, probably some rabbit manure, and then we will replant after that. So let me get the rest of them. I'm not taking the soil out of all of these. I only did it for that one. I'm not taking it out of all of them. I'm just gonna amend it, break it up a little bit, amend it, clean these out really good, and then set it back up. This gonna be my plan. Just gonna snip these beans like I did the other one. There are a few pepper plants in this level and some eggplants, so we're gonna leave those. And I am not I don't know. I haven't been growing in Greenstalks for a long time, so this is just what I'm choosing to do today. The beans look like dried out, so I'm not gonna keep those. This is a pepper, eggplant, pepper, beans. So we're gonna pull these beans. Oh, you know what else I found? That I like to have two beans in one pocket. They seem to support each other. When I put one bean in a pocket, it's very flimsy. They seem to support each other, and the ants are here. I'm going to go in the house, see if I have any cinnamon. If I don't, I'm gonna go to the store, get some cinnamon, just as a way to get them out of here now. They were on the peppers. I think I said it before, that aphids will jump on peppers too. I've seen that happen in my garden too. So I'm gonna see if I have some cinnamon. If I don't have any cinnamon, because when we had aphids and ants on the seedlings, we used a lot of the cinnamon. So I'm gonna see if I have some. If I do, I'm gonna put it in here, let it sit for a little bit. And then of course, as we amend and stuff, you know, the other thing I think I'm gonna do is drench this soil too with some fish emulsion as well, because some of the plants look a little light, but not as light as that pink one. I know I didn't fertilize that pink Greenstalk, y'all. So let me see if I can find some cinnamon. So I had cayenne pepper and I had cinnamon in the house, and I didn't have to go to the grocery store. So I said, let me just go get everybody and we can do this together, pull it all out together. So let me just show you what I did, and I'm kind of watching. It feels like the ants are moving away already. There was a whole lot of them in here. So it looks like that's working. So I just sprinkled a little bit of cayenne pepper and a little bit of cinnamon. So this whole pocket is where the bean was. So I see them dispersing, it appears, over here. I don't know that I was paying attention to whether they were already over here or not, but this is the pocket. So you can still see there's some in there, but I'm just gonna let it sit for a little while I work on everything else and see what it's looking like by the end. It appears that that was the only one that had ants in it so far. This one has a few, but not like that one. So I'm also gonna take this nasturtium out, and so I'm just pulling them and then making sure I leave the soil, because just like with my bags, I don't plan on, hold on, y'all behind me. I don't plan on refilling this. I don't plan on like dumping the dirt and refilling it. I just, the soil, dirt, and refilling it. I don't plan on doing that. That is a deal that sowed itself, because I had deal in here earlier in the season. It resowed itself, but I made a mistake and pulled it out, so that's gone. This is an eggplant, so we're gonna leave this eggplant. Pretty sure we're gonna leave this basil. It's not doing amazingly, but also it was probably being shaded, or it was one of those situations from when I wasn't turning it. So this is our patio tomato, and this is looking like, you know, pretty much at the end of his life. And I'm just trying to pull as much as I can, because I imagine this soil will get compacted if you leave all of these roots in here. Just like I do my bags, I pull all the full plant out of the bag too, just so that it doesn't get compacted and root bound, because I do plan to grow in everything 365 days a year. But this plant gave me a whole bunch of tomatoes, so I'm happy about that. We have cleared another one. I'm gonna go get another one, start clearing that. Yeah, the ants aren't bad in this one. I'm just gonna keep my eye on that one over there. All right. What I am noticing, I'm not really sure what these are, but these little brown things that's in here, I don't know what they are, but they all have it. It's giving maggot, but I don't think it's a maggot. I don't know, but I'm gonna clean it out. On to the next one. Ooh. Ah. A little heavy, y'all. It's also heavy because it is full of water. Like, it rained really good last night. Where are my snips? Hold on, gotta find the snips, y'all. Oh, I got them. So this was a deal that I cut to see if it would grow itself back, and it did. But I think we're gonna let this dill plant go on. It grew back though. I did that with some more dill in the garden too. This marigold, I don't know, they just aren't, in general, even in the garden, my marigolds didn't do amazing. I got like 2 plants that did amazing, but I planted a whole bunch of marigolds. So we're gonna take this marigold out too, trying to see if it had any pods on it, seed pods, because I could let those dry, but I don't see any. So the soil is not compact yet, so that's good to see and know. This tomato is coming out. Just gonna pull it slowly to try to pull everything out. I mean, we definitely not gonna get everything, but we're getting a good amount. And then I'm gonna just drop the soil back close to the pocket. I use Burger BM6 soil if you're new here for these. So it was a very lightweight, loamy soil that I used, and I think that's a plus, honest truth. This basil looks bad, and we have basil in other places in the garden too. I'm not gonna try to hold on to that. And then the bean, again, like I said, we're just gonna clip it. There are some ants over here. They were pretty much on the bean, so if I looked closer at those plants, I'm sure I would also find some aphids. So there's one eggplant left in here. True story, probably gonna move it to the one with the ants so that I don't have a bunch of different things on this level. Like if I wanna grow cucumbers here, I would like it to all be cucumbers so that I could put the support ring around this one. So we're gonna move this eggplant over into the ant level. And the soil is really moist, so I don't think we should have a problem moving this. Just take as much as we can, which is probably most of the roots. And then I'm gonna have to dig this soil real quick to be able to drop it down in there, which might be breaking up the roots of something else. There was a bean in here, so I am gonna have to pull this bean out. There was a bean plant in this one, so I'm gonna have to pull it out. I do think this is gonna be one of those you gotta break the roots up type situations. But we'll, you know, I'm new to it. I'll show you as I move through it. And I put that back because I'm gonna put that soil in here, back in that one. Saving the soil, y'all. That soil is what, like $32 a bag? Which, again, you get a lot of soil in it, but the point is $32 a bag. So I'm trying to save all of it. This was a bean. Trying to see if I see any of the nodules on it. I can't really tell if these are nodules. I think they are, or if it's the soil, the perlite, I think it is, that's in the soil. Also, the sun is coming out, so this is probably gonna be the last thing that we do right now. I'm gonna edit this, see how long it is, and we may just do a continuation video. But let's get this last one, get that. Also, I'm gonna move this into that one too. So let's do that real quick. This is a white eggplant. So we're gonna move that over there too. I feel so energized today to get this stuff done. Very excited, actually. When I originally was like, yeah, we ain't doing nothing else. Let's get this bean piece out. Play around with these ants real quick, y'all. The roots go very deep if the plant was healthy. So that's a plus. All right, yeah, look at that. That was a bean root system, y'all. Nice. Go drop this over here. This eggplant over here. Whew. I'm playing nice with the ants. Well, not really, because I'm definitely getting rid of them. Trying to, but I'm not letting it frustrate me is what I'm saying. Not gonna let it frustrate me. We're gonna put some of that other soil back in there, some of this soil back in here. Gonna fill this back up, and then drop that back over there. Whatever is left back over there to fill that pocket back up. And I'm gonna make sure any of the little holes that's in the middle are unclogged before we put this back together, because that's how the water moves through the Greenstalk. If you got soil in there, then you're not gonna be getting water moving through to other places. All right, set up. We got 2 empties. Love that. We got 3 empties from the potato too. So yeah, I'm gonna be able to get a lot more. Yeah, the sun is coming out, y'all. So we're gonna finish this, and I'm gonna keep my honey in the house. Oh, whoa, real life. I almost fell. All right, this is a bean plant. Throw that over there. Take this out for now. Eggplant leaving. Oh, this basil looks amazing. What we're gonna do is harvest this, but we're gonna leave it, cut it down a little bit, but also leave the plant here. Eggplant, we're gonna leave this basil, it looks good. This is gonna come out. Let me put this on the porch, I'll be right back. Yeah, we're gonna take this out and gotta wash that. And also the empty ones are what I'm gonna put on the top. And then if we already have plants in them, we'll go ahead and put those on the bottom. It would probably be easier for me to put them on the top since the plants are already in it. But I'm thinking sun-wise, they'll be able to get sun at the bottom and not shade out the new plants that I'm planning to put in here. Although cucumbers will shade out the stuff up under it. Let me think through that, y'all. Let me think through that. Pretty simple task to take. I mean, they're heavy, of course, because they have wet soil in them. But it's a pretty simple task. All right. So now we definitely doing cucumbers in here, probably beans and everything else. So 1 layer of cucumbers, beans in all the extra pockets. Let's see, we got an extra one up here. Well, not an extra one, y'all. We got the other layer. So now we're gonna, yeah, the ants are pretty much gone. So any of the green stalks that I'm gonna reset, because I'm also gonna reset the green one that's been planted for a while. Yellow, blue, I'm not gonna reset. The pink one, I don't think I need to reset it. I think I just need to fertilize it. It's hot out here and I'm not playing in the sun this year. We're gonna come back and do this. We're gonna leave it sitting out later on the night. We're gonna come back and do this. And then on the next video, we'll get the tomatoes pulled and replant it, okay? So, and then of course we need to redo some of these green stalks too. So yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in a little bit. Hey y'all, so we are back at it. It is a few days later. This green stalk has actually been just sitting. It rained really well, so I know the soil is nice and moist now, but we are back. I think we started this on Saturday. Today is Monday, so we're gonna finish this one up. We're gonna start working on probably the green one today. We're gonna do something to this pink one as well. So when we're finished with this video today, we will have reset these green stalks, fertilized the green stalks. It's been really wet here, just a lot of rain. And I've said that a few times now. And so like with the pink green stalk, like I said, I think we're just gonna fertilize that and see what we could get out of what's already in there. And the green one, probably gonna plant some more beans and some cucumbers, just like we're gonna do in the purple one. So let us get on with this. So this has been sitting for a few days. And if you remember, we had to put the cinnamon and the cayenne pepper over here in this pocket, and I don't see any ants. I don't see any ants anywhere in here. So I'm excited to see that. And I feel better about getting it planted and getting it stacked, because I don't think that we're gonna have an ant problem right now anyway. So any other place that I see ants, we doing the same thing, y'all. For the green stalks today, that is. And I may just go ahead and drop some of this into some of the pepper bags too. So we'll see. Not might. I am going to do that. It could help a little bit. Not going to completely try to get rid of them because of the beneficials, but am going to try to knock back the population with some cinnamon and some cayenne pepper. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to drop some granulated fertilizer in here and some rabbit manure in here. Then I am going to fertilize it with some fish emulsion. And then we're going to plant it out and we're going to get this one up and gone. Not going to do a lot. Just kind of, I guess, a mid-season fertilizing. And I try to make sure that I do get the fertilizer pretty close to the pockets. I did this, you know, I do the whole thing, but I want to make sure I get some in the pockets as well, so that where the plant actually is, there's fertilizer. So I just got a little handful, and I should go and find the little rake, but as long as it's mixed in, it's gonna break down. So that's what I'm doing here, just mixing it in. And I'm gonna do the same thing for all of the pockets. Then we're gonna get this planted and hopefully get us a second harvest. And I'm only mixing it into like the first inch or two of soil, because that's where the roots are gonna start at. And that's where we're gonna need our fertilization. And I'm only doing this when I replant like a lot of things. I'm not taking this down every time I wanna replant like one plant. I'm not doing that. It's they're heavy with soil in them. So got my gloves, drop some rabbit manure in here. Also trying to make sure I get it into the pockets where it will be needed. And this is pretty much how I'm fertilizing all of my things right now. I'm still working on the worm bins. The worms are still in there, so that's a plus. I'm still just adding shredded paper to it when I feed them, just to kind of dry it out. And it is working. It is working. All right, I'm gonna fill up a can of fish emulsion, and I'm gonna feed this just with a little bit, not a lot. Just feeding the soil, not really the plants. So I broke my other tripod. And honestly, I'm not buying that tripod again. It's the second one that I've purchased now. Same kind, and it's just not very strong. I think it was a Ulanzi. It's not very strong, so I'm gonna look into another one. Using my old tripod, which works fine. It's just much bigger and much clunkier. So that's why I switched to that one, but now I know why. It is, made a mess there, y'all. This stuff stink too. Trying not to get it on my hand. Just trying to get what's left in the measuring cup in there. Just gonna make sure I mix that up real good. And I'm just gonna put a little bit in the soil. The soil is super moist from all of the rain, so it should soak down in there real nicely. And I'm putting beans in this one, so there's be beans in all the open pockets. So I'm just gonna drench a little bit. Make sure I do get a nice amount over here by this basil, because it will need it. Just gonna let that soak in. And I am gonna use my gloves because I haven't planted yet, which is crazy. Should have planted first. I think I'm gonna put the yellow beans in this one. I like yellow beans. And I honestly have no idea which ones they are because I pulled the top off, not paying attention. But I planted them this year already. And I'm planting 2 into a sale just because I think it gives it better support. I think they support each other. Gonna have to put them back. Working with gloves on. Might have made my hole a little too big. There we go. I rarely work with gloves on, but I also don't want to smell like fish emulsion for a good portion of the day. But we're putting 2 into each one. I've tried it both ways. I prefer it this way. That hole is too deep. We're just gonna put that one in, but still drop 2 in here. These are smaller bean seeds, and cover it up. Be done with this one and move on to the next. Dunsies. Moving on to this one. This is where we're gonna have cucumbers. Hopefully we'll start getting a good cucumber harvest, because baby, my cucumbers have not done well this year. And I'm planting cucumbers in every pocket. And we're gonna do the space savers in here. We are done with this level now too. I'm just gonna feed the soil a little bit. My watering can kind of sucks, y'all, especially if it's full like in the beginning. Now that one is done. This is gonna be our bottom layer, just because we're gonna put the plant supports on it and I don't want it to shade other things. Right now we're moving on to this one. This one we have to add some more soil. This is where the potatoes came out, but it'll make it much easier for me to fertilize because I could put the soil over top of it. Well, I did it again, y'all. I planted, I did the fish emulsion before I planted. Girl, cut the crap. I think I want to put some dragon tongue beans in here. I am noticing that dragon tongue beans do kind of vine a little bit. They're not complete just bush, which is fine. But with that being the case, Megan from Mustard Seed Gardening mentioned to me that she uses bamboo stakes for some of her things. She said it for peppers. So I'm going to also cut some bamboo stakes or break them. They're very old, so So it's a way to upcycle. If you remember, I am replacing all of my bamboo stakes with like the stronger stakes. All right, that's 3 of them done. I'm gonna get these other 2 done. I'm gonna get this stack. And what I'm doing in these Greenstalks, pretty much the same thing you can do to amend bags, beds. It's called top dressing or side dressing. I have a meeting, by the way, with the Greenstalk head gardener. I want to make sure that I completely understand how this works since I'm sharing it with you all. So I have a meeting with her sometime, I'm pretty sure it's this week, maybe the 24th. I wanna make sure I know for myself, and I wanna make sure I know completely while I'm sharing it with y'all. The watering portion of it was one of the things that I was trying to figure out in my head. And one of the things that I do is I water it maybe 2 times, and I listen to hear the water hitting each level. So the little gray trays that I showed y'all like earlier in this video, that's where the water goes. It goes through the middle of the hole that I told y'all I was gonna make sure it was cleaned out, and then it goes straight down to all of those trays. Those trays have little holes in them, and the water kind of drops out slowly. You know, the way we should be watering our plants instead of in big bursts. And so you have to make sure that those trays are all getting watered in order to make sure that each level has the adequate amount of moisture. So what I really want to talk to the gardener about is the fertilizing, because if I put the fertilizer into the can at the ratio the directions tell me to, and then I just keep adding water, I feel like I'm diluting the fertilizer. So I'm very interested to see what they do as it relates to fertilizing. I also am not sure that I'm gonna keep fertilizing through the top with fish emulsion, because I think that's the buildup that we're seeing in the gray trays. So I may have to find a different fertilizer to put through the top. So I plan to talk to her about that and see, you know, what she does. Anyway, we're done amending this. It's time to get it set back up now. So change of plans. That thing's very wide. We'll use that on another Greenstalk. And these cucumbers are supposed to be space savers, so I'll just try using bamboo stakes. I learned how to garden with the space that I have. We'll use that for something else. Use bamboo stakes for the rest. Who else was watching that and saying, you didn't put your gray pieces in? I had to go back up and put that up, right? So each one of these levels gets a gray tray. Right there, next gray tray, last gray tray. The last part is the top. We now have a fully reset Greenstalk. Some old plants still in here, but also we'll be growing some new plants soon. Excited about that, y'all. Very, very excited. I need to rinse this off. I don't like the dirt on there, but I'll come back and get that. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the rest of the Greenstalks that need to be reset. The pink one, I may add some extra things, but I'm just gonna really fertilize that. I don't see why I should record all of that because I just showed you with the purple one. So anywho, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram, where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.